What's going on YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. So we're going to continue to work on my investment property, inching ourselves closer to financial freedom. Inching, slowly. And actually, it seems slow, but I've noticed things have really started to, things are good. They're getting better and better, you know, as time goes along. And just to catch everybody up, maybe this is your first time seeing one of these videos. You know, I bought a multifamily. I was like broke. Bought a multifamily, and the banks put me up in the one bedroom. They said that's where you're going, because that's where you're going. And I'm like, okay. It was a meth house for 15 or 20 years. It was disgusting. And the worst possible thing happened to me that I think everyone fears. You buy a multifamily and you have a tenant that doesn't pay the rent right off rip. It's like, oh God, that's like worst case scenario. It happened to me. And he cost me about $8,000. By the end of things, lost rent, court fees, everything, it was like $8,000. It sucked. So upstairs, while I was up there, it's beautiful up there now, but I didn't get to go as far as I would have liked. Because obviously, you just buy a place and you have a tenant not paying you, it hurts. It really hurts. So, after the eviction battle and after upstairs is now, it's beautiful up there. Beautiful. We finally moved down into the 2-bedroom. And I've been down here for 4.5 to 5 months. And just weekends and, you know, a little bit after work, every single day, by myself, I've been going to town. In 4.5 to 5 months, we've gutted this room right to studs. Insulated it. Ceiling, walls, checked all the windows. These were all brand new, thankfully. Brand new flooring, all new electrics, LED lights in the ceiling. Brand new baseboard heat all the way around. We actually put baseboard heat out into the hallway. We put a brand new, it's a gasketed door, not like a cheap, they put an interior door to the unconditioned space, so cold air was just pouring through. So now that's a proper door, and there's a little bit of heat out there. And then we added a closet, because there was never a closet here before. This was just wall. And this was actually double door, so we closed it down, fit a queen size bed. Yeah, we stole a corner out of the living room. We just stole a little corner, and boom, we have a closet for the master. And then this closet we also remodeled, which could be like a his and hers, right? I'm thinking this apartment is going to be perfect for like a young couple that has one kid. So that's what I'm kind of setting it up for. So you have a hers because it's the bigger closet. It's right outside the room. His closet, smaller one, whatever. But there's 2 closets. Everything's brand new, beautiful, insulated. Like all the horsehair plaster's gone. Right to studs. Insulated the ceiling for noise and fire blocking. Insulated the exterior wall. Brand new window. Everything. TV bracket, power behind the TV. It's looking fresh. But now we gotta go this way. So we take a step out of 2025, and now we're in like 1940, 1950, I don't know, but it's disgusting. It smells bad over here. So the next project is the 2nd bedroom. I'm trying to tackle the rooms that have the most baseboard heat in them. And that's actually next in line. That needs to connect onto the living room, which I haven't pressure tested yet because we're, tail end of summer. It's much easier for me to like cut the heat out and just leave it down and not have to fill the system back up. So I'm just going ape trying to get like the bigger rooms that need a lot done. So this is the 2nd bedroom that I think would be a perfect kid's bedroom. Young couple, right? with one kid. This is a perfect size room for a kid. It just needs a closet. Can't steal that corner from the living room again, because that's the perfect place for a headboard for a bed, a bureau. So I guess the only place I can get a closet, and yeah, I was thinking even just closing off, because that's the chimney, just kind of come across and make a closet, but then it makes the room too small. So I came up with an idea for the closet I guarantee you have never seen anywhere else. I guarantee I'm the first person that's done this. But we also have other issues that I was trying to work out while we work out that room. Is there's no bathroom door. And I was hoping, that's why I did a little bit of exploratory demo. I was hoping to do a pocket door for the bathroom, which would bring the door to here. Then we'd have to kick this door frame over a little bit, whatever. But 2x4s are on the flat. It's an old house and that's how they used to do it. So we don't have the depth. So the closet idea is quite cool. Obviously the stove was here, vent hood here. And the problem with this setup is there is no way to get a pipe outside. So all the oil and grease was just going all over the ceiling and the ceiling fan. It's disgusting. Like, I had to scrub that thing. So I figured a better idea would be to take the stove and the vent hood and slide it over here. So I already grabbed some wire from Home Depot. It was like 250 bucks for 50 feet of wire. Rewired it and slid it over there. Done. That's beautiful, right? We have a clear 36 all day long for code. I don't even have to cut the baseboard heat down. We can put an extra cabinet above here with a vent hood and then pipe it right through the top of the cabinet and outside. Done. Don't know if we're gonna keep these kitchen cabinets, try to refab them, you know, pull them off the wall, refab them, put them back, or just get new cabinets. I don't know yet. We'll cross that bridge when we get there, but I just needed to get that out of the way. So now, closet, right? What's going here? My plan, because these 2x4 walls on the flat are extremely flimsy when they're in long lengths and not tied into stuff. So I want to build a kitchen cabinet from floor to ceiling, tied in basically to the framing of this room. I might even have to demo some of the ceiling to do this. I don't know. Or yeah, I'm still working out logistics, but basically I want to do a floor to ceiling cabinet here that looks like a kitchen cabinet that'll match whatever's over here, and it's going to have some doors or a door on it, and it's going to have very, very shallow shelving for like cereal boxes, canned goods, whatever. You'll have some kitchen storage with this cabinet. But then you come around the back and there'll be a door right here, and you can go into you can go straight into the back of the kitchen cabinet, and there's your closet. All right, I'm happy with that. And you might ask, how come there's no header above the window? Because my house is balloon framed, and there's a giant beam all the way across the top there that carries the load for the second floor. Well, we got a brother and sister in here, and then I put some super big lags right through to kind of sandwich that together, and it's screwed all the way up. That should be oh yeah, nice and strong. Added a little jack over there. Top doesn't really matter, just to hold drywall. Now we can slip the window in place and see how she fits. All right, the window's in. It's all foamed. I kind of pried the bottom up to foam underneath, get it nice and sealed, shimmed. Then I went outside and caulked everything in, because we got a hurricane that's heading our way that it's not going to hit us, but it's probably going to get nasty, and this side of the house gets absolutely battered when it rains. So it's probably why I'm finding a lot of leaking windows on this side of the house. Alrighty, tonight we get to start some electrical. So I already went down in the basement and I snaked this where I want to start the plugs. I'm not going to put any behind the door, so we're going to do a plug there, that side of the window, that side of the window, then one plug over there. There's no really room for plugs over here, so we'll just start here and then daisy chain a bunch of plugs. And then I have another drop here. So this drop is for the lights, that one is for the plugs, and both of these wires are run all the way down, stapled to the joists, all the way over to the main panel, and they're just hanging there right now. So we got our 2 drops. Now we can start measuring, slapping in our boxes where we want them, measure out where we want our lights, and start slinging some wire. Well, I came close to getting the electrics done last night. I got the plugs in, they're all live, they're all working. And I said, sweet, let's get to the lights, right? I came over here, opened up the halo lights, and my spidey senses were just they were going off like crazy. I'm like, wait a second, where's the nice packaging? Where's the protective film that goes in between? How come the boxes look different? Wait a second, the wires aren't supple and soft, they're stiff. Like, what is going on here? Some contractor must have installed the lights a long time ago. Maybe a customer called them and they just brought them back, swapped out for the new ones, and shoved the old ones back in the box and returned them. And I am the sucker that bought them. And it happens all the time. It's called getting Home Depot'd, I guess. But yeah, the old ones only had 3 selectable colors. The new ones have 5. So I had to go swap these out this morning, but I got brand new ones. And I also grabbed some PT strapping, tap conduit to the chimney. Noticed one little problem after the fact here. There's a huge hump right here. So if I go to drywall this, oh dude, it's gonna be a nightmare. So I think I'm just gonna cut with a multi-tool right here, because this is on the nice plane, and then we'll just float over that section and just screw here and screw here, just kind of float over it. It'll be fine. All right, I didn't quite get to the insulation yet. It's been a hectic morning. We still got to staple all the vapor barrier and fill in the gaps. But I shot out to the depot this morning and grabbed 14 sheets of drywall, plus I have an extra one in the basement. And then by the time I got home, look at that. Duke kind of guided the dumpster guy in. I love this company. I don't have to talk to nobody. I don't have to see nobody. I just go on the app, say I want dumpster, delivered on this date. This is where you put it. And they put it exactly where I said. And I didn't have to see anyone. I didn't sign anything. Done. So, and then when I'm done, just tell them it's ready and they'll come get it. So I just cleaned out the shed. I had an old stove, vent hood, and a couple of windows. Oh, dude. And we still have all this, and this is all heavy, heavy stuff here. And voila. And there's plenty of room left. Like, there's not a ton of room, but there's room. It was just delivered today, so that gives me 2 weeks. I offered both tenants an opportunity. You want to get rid of some stuff? That's great. Chuck it in there. There was like green algae growing under the bags, and I just learned something. The sun, the bags that it's really just bearing down on, a couple of them I went to pick them up, and it was just like the bag just came and the trash stayed. That stuff just evaporated. So yeah, maybe next time I'll cover it or something, or try to cover it if it's gonna be a while. But I'm thinking we have 2 weeks. If we can get this all this insulation stapled up, finished, get the drywall on, get the the big coats of mud on, and at least do the initial sanding of the walls while we still have this old floor down, just to keep it from getting jammed in between the floorboards and going in the basement and making a mess. You know what I mean? And then once we have the initial mudding and sanding done, we can peel up this floor and pitch that in as well, along with the scraps of drywall. We'll be able to get rid of all of that. Pretty much we can finish this room. We'll be starting with a clean slate, and then we can start, diving this way. All right, the installation is done, and I overlooked something. Like, I swear to God, I plow forward so fast sometimes that I forget things. Like, I'm by myself, and I have to get full sheets of drywall on the ceiling. Yeah, actually, it's not so bad. First sheet, like just like this, cleat T-bar. There's no screws in that. It's holding itself up. So it gives you an opportunity to fudge things around and kind of measure off stuff and figure out like where you want the first sheet so that your other cuts aren't so bad. All right, sorry guys. Well, GoPro went down. Well, it's been acting up a lot. Like, you think it takes a long time to like kind of do this stuff, and it takes even longer when you drag out a camera. And then when you have a camera that doesn't work, it keeps freezing and crashing and tells you the SD card is no good and doing all this weird stuff. Like, it just got to me, you know what I mean? So I said, screw that thing. I'm getting another camera. So I got a new camera. Insta360 X5 should look different, sound different. Hopefully it's better, because it was just a little bit more expensive than the GoPro. But it's been exactly a week. Exactly a week. Since the dumpster was dropped off last Friday. Today's Friday. I mean, I've been just pounding it out, because this weekend, currently that we're in now, is Labor Day weekend. I knew it was coming, and I have a special project planned that's going to be so freaking cool, man. But just to catch you guys up, yeah, we have 2 sheets left over. They're going to have to live there for now. I wasn't going to return them because, we kind of probably will need them here. We got the dumpster filled. And this is all like just, after my day job, just after work and weekends. We got the dumpster filled and out of here in a week. I actually stood on the dumpster as well and clipped back my mulberry tree with a chainsaw, because the squirrels were getting on my roof, causing damage, and the mulberries all over the driveway is just a mess. Once I got, all the trash out of the backyard, there was a little bit of space left. So we completely demoed this, right to studs. We took that floor out, just we cut a little square out of the kitchen, and we took the flooring out of that room. I don't think I'm necessarily going to be jumping into that next. I think that would be a good project to save for the dead of winter, because there's no baseboard heat. I can do that anytime. I think the important things are the rooms that have windows and heat baseboards I need to focus on before it gets extremely cold out. So probably after we finish this, we're gonna hop over here, because there's a window that needs to be changed to a smaller size. We got siding, we got baseboard heat, plus I want to tap into the baseboard heat in the bathroom and put some baseboard out in the common hallway so the water heater won't explode anymore in the wintertime. But yeah, other than all of that, this week I got drywall on. God, I've been spending so much money, it's like insane. It's frustrating, but it is what it is. Gotta get it done, right? Got all the drywall on, Easy Sand 90 first coat, dark green lid mud on the ceiling, light green stuff on the walls. I grabbed this. This thing was like $120, but dude, so worth it. So worth it. You can kind of put it on the wall and see your high spots, low spots, and then just, one pass. Should help with, sanding, hopefully. which is what I just picked up today. Vacuum filter, bags, and sanding sponges. But I don't think we're gonna go there yet. So the next project up is this. The Murphy kitchen cabinet / closet, which I just spent $400 on just the plywood. So we got 3 sheets of plywood. I have an extra one at the shop, thankfully. 8 1x2x8 pieces of pine, but it's from New Zealand. It's like hard as a coffin nail. It's not shit pine. And 2 1x10s pine for the center panels on the doors. I still didn't get hinges or magnet catches or knobs. I haven't done any of that yet. And I also need to get some wood. I don't know if I'm gonna just make something, a piece of wood to go on the top, or whatever we do for countertop, I might just order extra and slap a piece on the top, because I need something to cap this off, because I'm not going floor to ceiling. That way, I can completely finish this room. Paint the inside of the closet. The outside of the closet doesn't matter, or the kitchen cabinet. I can just cover it, and that way I can still demo the kitchen, and that piece doesn't matter. And it seems weird that you're putting a finished cabinet in on the rough, but it needs to be done on the rough because we have to wire it. We need to put a light. We need to add a switch. I want it attached to the structure. I mean, it really should be. It's a closet, right? We have to run the flooring. Whatever flooring we do in here is going to float straight in there, because we're going to do a bifold door. So I just want the floor straight through. I will break it off with a threshold here like I have been in all the other rooms for a reason. So that if, tenants destroy one room, we're not bleeding into another. And then if you try to patch it back in and you got worn and new, it just looks funny. So break off points, I feel like, are a smart idea for a landlord. All right, guys, there it is. The world's first, one of a kind, Murphy cabinet. Link in the description for the whole build of this. But obviously, we're not finished. It took 2 days to get this far. 2 full days. And this thing is so big that there was no way I could build this off-site and bring it here, because it's not fitting through any door or any window. It is just too big. So I had to go to the shop and cut the pieces, bring the pieces here, and assemble it right in place. That is custom. And like I say, this side is not done. I haven't put a top on yet because I wanted to see it in place first. And you can see it looks a little funny. That's tall and that's short. So I think that needs to be kind of, we're going to build a cabinet same as that, just straight across the top, and then we'll put a top on the whole thing. And I'm thinking about putting some dim LED lights in the very back, and maybe hooking it to a switch somewhere so they can have a little bit of a nightlight effect. So it looks like I did it on purpose. You know what I mean? If I could have, I would have gone to the ceiling, but it just wasn't possible here, because I still have to demo the kitchen. So, and these doors, I know they're not parallel. Like the middles kind of bow out, because I was supposed to put one of these here, but I didn't want to do that because it's not going to match the rest of the kitchen. I want to make it look like as premium as possible. I don't want it to look scabbed together in any way, shape, or form. So my fix, which was kind of my plan the whole time anyways, because I knew I was losing my knife holder on the side of the fridge, a little magnet These are too sharp to be sticking in the drawer. You can shave with these, or if you slip, you're going to the hospital. My ex-girlfriend didn't believe me, and she got herself pretty good once. But yeah, you see how it kind of fits? That's the biggest knife I have. It fits right within those shelves. I'm just gonna make a knife holder that glues and screws to here, floats over this panel, and glues and screws to there. So this is still a floating panel. I can clamp it in parallel, put the knife holder, and it fixes our issue. But again, that's gonna come later. Wasn't concerned about this side. I just wanted to get like the bulk of it done and worry about this side. Cause I'm in New England. It's hot one day, and the very next day it's freezing cold, and it happens like in the snap of a finger. And right now my heat is down, and I have an entire room of baseboard that has not been pressure tested yet. This whole thing has not been pressure tested, plus the front room and the front hallway and this room are all going to be brand new, like brand spanking new. So there's factory oils, and you got to burn them off. So I want to hook it up, open the windows, crank the heat, and burn it off before it gets cold out. That is the plan. So I was trying to get at least to that point. But look at this. Dude, I mean, this closet's actually bigger than I was expecting. I didn't know how this was gonna look and work. That's much bigger than I was expecting. All right, next up, flooring, baby. Let's get this flooring down tonight. Let's get her done. So we might actually be spot on with the 4.5 boxes. It just looked weird to me. I don't know. I was like, that's gonna do a whole room? Just 4 boxes? I think I was correct. Should have just went with my measurements, but I bought an extra box anyways, just in case. Don't think we're gonna need it. But yeah, this stuff is amazing in old houses, and I'm not so there's different kinds of this flooring though. That's the thing. There's I've installed so many kinds of this flooring. This click together stuff. This has a vinyl core. Like the stuff that actually clicks together is it's softer like vinyl. And then you have the rubber mat on the bottom, and then it has a really hard top layer. Yeah, really hard top layer. And then your wear layer. But since this has a vinyl core, it's very flexible and forgiving. The cement-based core stuff is extremely stiff and it's brittle. So when you're clicking these together, you have to be extremely careful, because I've gotten the floor down and noticed after the fact that I had a hairline crack on one of these with the cement-based stuff. And the cement-based stuff is so stiff that if you have there's a tiny soft spot, little bouncy spot right there. But that's because I just laid the floor. After a little time goes by, this vinyl core stuff will just it'll just relax and go with the flow. It's an old house, you know what I mean? But this stuff is super durable. It's so easy to install, and it goes fast, like that fast. Holy crap, man. I got home at 2:30. It is 3:35. It took me under an hour to slam through this. This vinyl stuff, it flies. It flies. And for a DIYer, if you don't have a lot of tools, literally this is all you need. A pencil, a tape measure, any old hammer will do, and a jigsaw. And this little special tool here, which I think this is a must. You can get away with a pry bar, but yeah, this is so much better and so much faster. Like literally, if you had to, this is all you need. You don't even need a straight edge because you can use a piece of the flooring as a straight edge. So you don't need many tools. If you have other tools, like a miter saw will make it easier. You do not need a table saw. I don't even break out the table saw. It's too much work. The jigsaw cuts it just fine. Those are jigsaw cuts. Yeah, all the rip cuts were jigsaw cuts. Easy. Alright guys, I got the baseboard installed. It took way longer than I was expecting last night. It was a fight getting that pipe. I had to like make a little hockey stick and like feed it up from the basement, and just it was in a really bad spot. But I got it all soldered up. I pressurized the whole system. Checked for leaks everywhere up here. We're good. Then, you know, I turned all the power on and tested the thermostat and the wire, and the boiler fired right up. But then as soon as it got hot, the boiler started leaking on the floor. The temperature and pressure relief valve is bad. It's like, you know, those little O-rings and gaskets on a boiler, they're fine. You know, it's like, it gets so hot that they dry out over time. And as long as you don't touch them, they won't leak. But as soon as you touch them or mess with the system, they'll start to leak. And this is exactly why I wanted to do this before the winter time. So at least we know everything up here is good to go. And we just need to, at some point, get a few valves and gaskets and, you know, address the boiler. But for today, we're gonna just put that on the back burner. I'm gonna go set up my saws. And I think we're gonna start with doors. Boom, and there it is. Some nice flat stock in here. Rip down. Door casing or door trim. Glue in the miters. And I wasn't gonna do door trim inside here because yeah, this is taller up here and this was smaller. So plus we would have had a big gap at the top to deal with. So I mean, it's inside the closet, who cares? It's clean, it's square. Now we can do the base, but we're not gonna hang the door yet or finish this because it looks like it might start raining, I think. So I wanna finish the bulk of the cutting, routering, ripping, and get that done. So window is probably the next best thing because we gotta make a sill, and there's probably gonna be a ton of ripping and modifying. So let's jump over here next. Not too bad. Not teabag. Looks like a window, smells like a window. It's a window. Hopefully we'll beat the rain because it looks like it's coming. So I'm gonna jump on to very, very quickly the last like tool intensive job. You know, we need drill and the multi-tool and the miter saw and the table saw and the nail gun and the levels. Like we need a lot of tools set up to do this. We got the door liner in, or the door casing, and I have exactly, like, it's tight. I mean, yeah, you can see I had to shim this out, and this is exactly 30 1/8. The door's 30, so I don't know if that's gonna be quite enough. We might have to shave some off one side of the door. But you can see after we fitted this sill, slammed down tight. Dude, nice little clean transition there. Hell yeah. I don't like to put the trim on or anything yet, just in case we need to tweak these casings a little bit to kind of fudge the gaps on the door. And you can see this is the hinge side. Door's gonna open against the wall. and this is screaming downhill. So yeah, that's why I think these saddles help in these old houses as well, because when the door's closed, in the closed position, if we measure it correctly from, the top down to that corner, and then the top down to this corner, cut the bottom uneven, that way when the door's closed, we have a nice even gap, and when the door's open, at least the door's up off the floor a little bit, so we don't have to worry about this end that's hanging down lower. Hopefully it won't scrape on the floor. Alright, sorry guys, it ended up raining on me, so I had to just kind of pitch the camera aside and blast it out. And I got it done, and then this week I got the painting done. I wanted to record more, but yeah, this week was crazy. Absolutely crazy. I had a chance to get a work van for an insane deal, and I went for it. So it's been absorbing some of my time. A lot of my time. But I just want to update everything here. So I've been down here for 5 months. 5 months so far. And by myself, I've remodeled this room completely solo. This room cost me $4,400 in materials. $4,400. Yeah, it would have been more if I was not able to reclaim all of these doors. I got super lucky on that. And that one. And then this room, again, remodeled completely solo in my spare time. We spent another $4,200. And now we just spent another $2,400. That's including like demo removal, the doors, the paint, everything. And the Murphy cabinet. The Murphy cabinet, the kitchen cabinet thing. That's actually, look at that. Come on, look at that. That's ridiculous. That looks so good. It's actually way bigger than I thought. I did semi-gloss on the shelves and then ceiling paint on the walls. Got a nice black pole. Nice black premium. I looked to see if I could find these in black, but I couldn't. But you don't really see them anyways. Got a nice light. Black knob. Black hardware. Black doorstop. All the switch plates are in. Everything's painted and cleaned. Dude, come on. Can you see what I was going for now? In the beginning, I'm like, this is going to be a beautiful, kids' room, man. This is an awesome size, for a kid. They can put their bed, anywhere here. They could center their bed on that wall, even. Put a little bureau and their Xbox and their TV, and you got a closet. I mean, what else do you need? And you got a solid wood door, so you can try to put your head through it. But you will fail. You will fail. That's why I spent the extra money. Because, yeah, I could have got a hollow core door for $80. But why spend all that time cutting it and doing the mortises and painting it for $80, and then a kid, puts his head through it? Because I don't know. I guess that's what they do these days. Must be the schools. I don't know. Just saying. But you spend all that time, a kid puts their head through it, and then you have to go get another one, so now you're up to $160. So did you actually save any money by getting a cheap door? In my opinion, no. So yeah, it's not a 4-panel, because I couldn't get 4 panels. That would have been $300 a door delivered to my house. I can get these readily available at Home Depot. $200 a pop. It was like $198. So 6-panel it is for this half of the house, I guess. But that will last. This thing, this is original. Can you imagine how many punches, kicks, slams, kids' heads that this thing, well, probably, I don't think kids, I think that's a new thing. I don't think kids used to try to put their heads through doors, but they definitely do now. It must be something in the water. But this, can you imagine how much this door is seen and it's still here? So, I mean, that says something. Yeah, it looks like hell, but it still works. I'm not keeping it, but like, you know what I'm getting at here. I spent the extra money now, so I don't have to be bothered later to come back and fix it and spend more money. Plus, if you're trying to get premium price, premium rent for a premium apartment, people are not stupid. You know what I mean? They can feel when things feel cheap. Oh, I'm not paying. Like, this place looks like shit. You want what for this? You know? So if it looks and feels and sounds, I mean, you can hear it. Yeah, that's premium. Plus, when you go get your, if you ever get your house reappraised, they look at stuff like that. You know what I mean? But anyways, guys, we've got 2 small projects I got to get done in the next couple of weeks. The work truck, obviously, and getting the boiler up to snuff. Make sure it's pressurized, fire it up, burn off all the oils, make sure it's ready to go. And then once that stuff's done, this is next, because this is going to be the worst job yet. Like, so far it's been simple, easy. Bedroom, so easy. Right? Closets, easy. Kitchen, not worried about. Like, I can do that shit blindfolded at this point. But the bathroom, it's tricky when you have to use the bathroom the entire time you're demoing and reconstructing. So you have to time things right, and it gets kind of hairy. Plus, you know, I want this clawfoot tub out of here. I don't like it's the most uncomfortable thing to shower in ever. And I don't like this. It looks like hell. So we might have to change the window. I have no idea. I'm doing my homework. I'm doing some research. I'm trying to figure out exactly how we're going to do this. But at the end of it, we're going to have a tub, a toilet, a vanity, and a freaking door. That is the goal. So, yeah, make sure you subscribe. Give me a thumbs up. See you later.